and welcome to Awaken Inspired. I'm Alicia. I am your guide to everything awakening, whatever it is that means to you. The time is now, my friends. We are shifting, we are changing, we are moving through an evolution, a human evolution, an age of enlightenment, a age of higher consciousness. My friends, it is happening whether we want it or not. So I'm here to invite you to jump on the train with me and explore everything that you need to know about waking up. So what is waking up? And what are some of the signs that you may be going through an awakening? The majority of us are going through an awakening at this time. We are moving from what I would describe as a third dimensional or more dense energy, very much a patriarchal energy where we are educated, we grow up, we have a family, we work, we retire, and we head on out of this planet. That has been, if I could call it, a program by which we have been controlled. And I feel now that we are moving through something much bigger. So today, you guys, we are going to unpack some of the phases of going through an awakening. So I myself went through my own awakening 3.5 years ago. Looking back, I think there were many mini awakenings along the way that probably go back to childhood, but then sort of closed myself off and went back to sleep because, as Pink Floyd said, it is probably more fun to be comfortably numb. So once I did wake up, let's just say it was a little bit of a tumultuous time. And I went through it for about 6 months to a year, spent half of 2019 sleeping, and most of my time crying. So awakening, although I know it to be a beautiful journey, for some it can be quite traumatic. So an awakening can look like a couple of months, it can look like a couple of years, it can actually look like an awakening and a reawakening and a going back to sleep and a reawakening again and then a going back to sleep. I think had I had a do-over, I probably would have said, listen, that was a little intense. I'd like to kind of back up the train and do it again a little bit more gently. So my friends, that's what I'm here to help you with. I went through that tumultuous time so that maybe it's going to be a little bit easier for you. So here we go. In this video, we're going to talk about the stages of awakening. And we're going to talk about the new you as you experience your awakening, the new you after your awakening, and into your future awakenings. Because, my friends, I don't think this journey is a one-stop shop. I'm pretty sure that this is going to happen from this point through the rest of our time here on planet Earth. And I, for one, am ready for it. So, hoping that you are too. Let's get started. Let's talk about the phases of awakening. Okay, so I have likened the subject of awakening to what some would call a spiritual awakening. Some would call it a awakening to a higher consciousness. Some may call it enlightenment. Some may just call it midlife crisis. And that's okay. So, let's talk about that. Let's talk about what the stages are to that midlife crisis or that awakening or that spiritual awakening or that time of enlightenment, or what I like to call the evolution of humanity. Okay, so phase 1, definitely resistance. If you're going through an awakening, you are definitely going to experience resistance. Whether that resistance is to the fact that strange things are happening around you. In my case, I had light switches going on and off. I had radio dials spinning. I had synchronicities and strange occurrences coming out left, right, and center. And my friends, it was a little crazy making. So another thing that happened to me was synchronistic meetings with certain people. One of them showing me how that asking me if I'd ever used a pendulum, and I never had. Sitting in a Starbucks, showing me to ask it yes, and it starts to fly around like this, and I'm not moving it, and I got a little freaked out. So these things happen. On a path to awakening, if you're on sort of a quick path, you're going to have some strange moments. You're going to have some times, you're going to see some things, you're going to experience some things, and I'm here just to tell you that you're not crazy, you're just waking up. Okay, so the resistance plus add in a little bit of fear is definitely part of the stages of awakening. So that kind of can go on and off throughout your the months and years that you go through this. The good news, you guys, is in this time of the world, as I record this video, we are in April of 2022. Things are speeding up, so you're not going to be going through an awakening seemingly alone or without the information that you need, like channels and videos like this, to help you along your journey. So definitely expect to have some resistance. So that just may be you saying, oh, no, I'm good. Don't want to see. Nope, thank you very much. Like to just rewind the ship. Let's go back to the way it was before. If you are starting to have this, these synchronicities and the fatigue and the isolation and the shifting perspectives and all of the things I talked about in the last video, chances are you are waking up. Expect the resistance, lean in. And we'll talk a little bit more in the future videos ahead about how to manage that resistance and also how to start to release some of those emotions that come with resistance, including fear, anxiety, and other emotions that may be coming up as you unpack that trunk of old traumas, feelings, patterns, and emotions that are no longer serving you in order to upgrade to this newer version of yourself. So phase 2, euphoria. Yes, my friends, there is some euphoria when it comes to waking up or expanding your awareness. So that euphoria could look like a very simple observing of, say, a spring day and seeing it vibrantly in vibrant colors around you, or noticing flowers like you haven't before, or noticing a snowflake like you haven't before, or really experiencing an emotion of joy or love or even understanding, and sometimes that can be just as scary, of something that you didn't quite understand before. So definitely there are many moments of experiencing euphoria. So on the other side of that, though, when you are experiencing an awakening, just be ready for that crash, okay? Your consciousness is trying it on, okay? Your consciousness is trying on that feeling of being in a higher vibration, which feels fantastic. But if you are going through an awakening, likely your vibration hasn't been at that level before. So you are used to being at a more dense vibration or frequency where you were still feeling emotions, but you weren't actually seeing or experiencing it the same way that you all of a sudden are. I had some experiences in my early days of waking up where I would hear sounds or the world around me seemed to slow down, and I would experience a moment with such vividness that it was jarring almost to have it slow down and experience it to that degree. And at the same time, having that euphoric feeling also was a little bit jarring sometimes, because then there was that inevitable sort of, coming down or coming back into that more third dimensional, coming back to reality. So just be really mindful of whenever there is extreme euphoria, likely there's going to be a downward spiral. So I often say, though, our higher selves, or our higher consciousness, and the guides that we work with, that's another subject for another video, will never allow anything to happen to us that we're not ready for. So enjoy the ride, but just be very mindful of the ups and downs. Cue the symptom that I forgot to mention in the other video, ear ringing. Having it right now in my right ear. So obviously there's something that my guides are telling me I need to tell you about. So we did cover symptoms in the last video, But if you are going through an awakening, your reality will be slightly different than the way you experienced it before. And something that I need to tell you now, that's the earring, is that we're all moving through our awakenings at different times. No one's ahead or behind. We are all on our own personal journeys. So what was really challenging for me when I was waking up was that I thought everybody else saw what I saw. I thought everyone else was hearing what I was hearing. So, and I was getting a lot of, information. I was getting words and songs and concepts coming to me, knowings and earrings and confirmations like body buzzes happening all of the time. So I kind of thought, oh, well, if I'm experiencing this, everybody else must be experiencing that. So no, my friends, not everybody's experiencing the same symptoms at the same time, which also makes this whole awakening of humanity a little bit of a difficult process because we're all going through it at a different time. So whether or not you're at this stage or you've already experienced this stage of awakening where there are like moments of euphoria or, moments where you see something and maybe someone doesn't see the same thing. A lot of people are awakening to their ability to see auras around people, to see light and to see energy where they didn't see it before. So perhaps they are not crazy or you are not crazy. You are just waking up. So just, tip there, be mindful, that many of us are going through these stages of awakening and we might not all be crazy. And if you're crazy, I'm crazy too. So phase 3, the stop the train. I mean, this phase definitely will happen to you many, many times. I can tell you that. I still have moments where I'm like, whoa, hold up. This is getting a little much. It was really fun yesterday, but I think I need a break. So yeah, expect that. Expect the whoa, stop the train phase, okay? So that's phase 3. Phase 1, resistance. You're going to experience it. Phase 2, euphoria. And then a little bit of disillusionment on the other side. Phase 3, stop the train. I want off. I want to go back to the way it was. I want to go back to normal. I actually think that that's where we're sitting right now as a collective. We are in the stop the train, I want things to go back to normal stage. Well, my friends, once the awakening train has left the station, there's no coming back. And that's okay. We're all in this together. So, stage 3, stop the train, back up the ship, I want off. This is to be expected and it's okay. You are safe. What you can do is just intend or take a break and stop going down the rabbit holes and just ask actually even your higher self and your higher guidance team to turn down the volume a little bit. So if you are in the stop the train, trust me, you can take a break. You don't need to keep going at the same pace that you were going. It is okay for you to take a pause. And one of the things that you will learn on this channel and through this work is that you are actually a master manifester and you are also the master of your own reality. It doesn't seem that way when you are unpacking the old, upgrading the operating system and stepping into the new. But my friends, I promise you, you are the master of your reality. And once you start to understand that, everything, wherever energy flows, energy goes, and where your mind and your frequency and your vibration are, you are. Okay, so it's okay to ask for a pause, but there's no going back to the station. So again, you're not alone. There's others like you. You're not crazy. You're just waking up. Phase 4, and this is a phase that I hope that you get into from this point throughout your journey. Phase 4 is surrender. So typically you will have, by the time you've reached this phase, and I'm really hoping for you that it doesn't happen as quickly as it did for me. I went through all these 4 stages, literally probably within 2 weeks. That, my friends, is a problem. So make sure if you are going through these phases, and which includes resistance, disillusionment, euphoria, that needing to, or saying, no, back up, I want off, I don't want this anymore, and then surrender, and then you're repeating this over and over again, that can actually lead to a little bit of a problem. So you don't want to allow this, if it kind of keeps recycling like this, if you keep kind of going back to resistance and then into euphoria and then into disillusionment and then back into euphoria and then maybe into surrender and then, oh no, I don't want anymore. If you are going through this fairly quickly, I would definitely suggest that you get some help. So you contact someone like myself or another energy healer, and you start to get some help unpacking what may be going on for you, because having it go too fast is not good either. Okay, so my friends, every one of these stages is normal. You're not crazy, you're just waking up. And in the next video, we're going to talk about the new you. So once you have actually moved through some of these stages and you've started to stabilize, some of the things that you can do to start to continue to remove the old programming, the old thoughts, the old ways of being, and to start to actually stabilizing that and increasing your energy and stepping into this new world with joy, ease, and surrender. So my friends, until next time, keep going. You've got this. You're not crazy. You're just waking up. And we'll see you soon. And make sure you share this video. Like, subscribe, and come back for more. You can see me over on Instagram at Awake and Inspired Alicia. I've got a private Facebook group also on Facebook called Awake and Inspired. And awakeninspired.com, awake-and-inspired.com for more resources, more videos, and all the support that you need. We'll see you next time.